Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Goodness gracious, it has been a long time since I have uploaded on this channel. It's been an even longer time since I've done a video where I'm actually talking and not a highlight video, but I have been just very occupied with stuff. That's all you guys get to know is stuff. But I am glad to be back, and I am glad to do another playoff prediction video. I love doing these every year, except for the few years where I didn't do that, but we're not going to talk about that. Anyway, it is 2026, new year, and a new set of teams vying for a spot in the Super Bowl. And things have been crazy this season. I mean, no Chiefs, no Lions, no Ravens in the playoffs, no Bengals, which the Bengals weren't here last year, but still is pretty shocking considering they had a pretty good start to the season before Joe Burrow got hurt. But anyways, it has been a crazy season, and honestly, these playoffs are very hard to predict. Like, these are probably the hardest playoffs to predict that I've had to do before. So these could go any which way, but I'm still going to do these predictions, and I'm probably going to turn out wrong, no matter what I predict. But anyways, let's just get started with these. We're starting with our first game. The NFC's on the left side of this bracket, which usually that's not the case, but anyways, let's start off with the NFC first. We have the Carolina Panthers versus the Los Angeles Rams. Oh yeah, before we start, one more thing. I'm sorry if the audio sucks, but we have the Panthers versus the Rams, and oh my God, who expected the Panthers to be here, especially with how they started the season? I mean, granted, the NFC South, it was a very weak division, but I mean, like, the Buccaneers didn't make it after like that 6-1 start they had to the season, and the Panthers just squeaked by. Even though they lost to the Buccaneers in Week 18, they still made it because the Falcons won, and that created a three-way tiebreaker that let the Panthers in. But anyways, the Panthers, I'm not saying they're a bad team, but they're definitely not a playoff team. I'm sorry. Like, they got Bryce Young, they got Rico Dowdle, who's been really good this year. They got Ted McMillan, who's been doing all right. Derek Brown, but yeah, I don't know. They don't really look like a playoff caliber team to me. And we have the number 5 Los Angeles Rams, led by Matthew Stafford, who's been balling out this year. I mean, really, like, I did not expect Stafford to have such a great season this late in his career. But, you know, they've got Kyron Williams, Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams, who's been doing pretty well. I mean, I've had him on my fantasy team, and he's been doing pretty well for me, all things considered. But they also have a great defense with Jared Verse and all those guys in there. Who do I think is going to win this? I think it's a very obvious decision. Even though the Panthers are at home, and, you know, there hasn't been a playoff game in Charlotte in 10 years, I think it's pretty obvious that the Rams are going to proceed in this game. I'd be very shocked if Bryce Young can pull it off. Next up, we have the Eagles and the Niners. The Philadelphia Eagles, of course, coming off of that Super Bowl run, that Super Bowl victory against the Kansas City Chiefs, which I did not expect to be such a blowout. I predicted the Chiefs to win, and I was like, well, maybe the Eagles will pull it off slightly, but they just blew out the Chiefs. But the Eagles have been looking pretty weak, especially considering how strong they looked last year. They still won the NFC East. However, the NFC East was a trash fire this year. I mean, Commanders lost Jaden Daniels for the majority of the year. Cowboys had a terrible defense, and the Giants were the Giants. So Eagles kind of just won by default, but I mean, they're still pretty good. They got Jalen Hurts and Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown and all those guys. Pretty much the whole team that they had from last year, and Saquon Barkley, of course, but I don't know. Something tells me that these guys are weaker than they were last year, but they're playing the San Francisco 49ers, who are all the way down to the 6th seed, even though they had a shot to win the 1st seed against the Seattle Seahawks. What do I think about the 49ers? I think they're definitely improved a lot. I mean, they had that crazy run with Mac Jones at quarterback, where they were like 5-3 or 6-3, and then Brock Purdy eventually returned, and you know the Niners did pretty well this season. Not quite their 2023 form, but they've been doing pretty well. But do I think they have enough to beat the Eagles? Well, I don't know, honestly. Like that Niners offense was like shut out by Seattle. Like they put up 42 points against the Bears, and then the very next week they put up 3 against the Seahawks. So these guys are kind of unpredictable. But I'm going to go ahead and say that the Super Bowl champs are going to win this one against the 49ers. Next up, we have a classic division rivalry about as old as the league is, and that's I was about to say Carolina. The Oh my God! The Chicago Bears versus the Green Bay Packers. Goodness. But yeah, Bears-Packers, a rivalry as old as time. I mean, I don't remember the last time they played in the playoffs, probably when Aaron Rodgers was still on the team. But yeah, these guys hate each other, and it's going to be a good game. I mean, I think a lot of people are predicting the Bears to kind of easily win this because the Packers have been battered. Micah Parsons is out for the year. I'm pretty sure Jordan Love is going to be playing. I'm pretty sure, but Malik Willis might also be playing, which, I mean, still, Malik Willis has been doing surprisingly well. But Josh Jacobs is out. A lot of their key players are out. And the Chicago Bears, Caleb Williams, of course, having a great year. Not a spectacular year, but he's been doing just enough to get the Bears in the first place for the NFC North. And of course, they got Kyle Monangai and I think not DeAndre Swift. Is it DeAndre Swift? I don't remember. I'm pretty sure it's DeAndre Swift is still on the Bears, but they have DJ Moore, Luther Burden, of course, and Rome Odunze, who's been doing pretty well, and they've got a pretty good defense as well with T.J. Edwards and who else? What was that guy on defense? On the defensive line? I don't know. They got Grady Jarrett for some reason. I don't know how he's been doing, but Bears are looking pretty good. But do I think they have enough to beat the Packers? I don't know. The Packers, they always sneak in at the 7th seed, but they do surprisingly well in the playoffs. It's kind of the team that the Packers are. But I don't think they're going to defeat the Bears at Soldier Field. I don't see it happening. I think that Caleb Williams is going to progress here. All right, now we have the AFC, starting with the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Houston Texans. Man, what a finish to that game, to Ravens versus Steelers. Tyler Luke shanked that field goal kick. That was one play away from Tomlin getting fired and the Ravens making the playoffs. But instead, we have a home game in the playoffs for the first time since 2021, and I am very happy about that. But do I think my team is going to beat the Texans? I don't know. Steelers have some pretty good offensive weapons. I think Darnell Washington's going to be out. I don't know how long he's going to be out, but I'm pretty sure he's going to be out for at least this week. But DK Metcalf is back. You got Aaron Rodgers, of course, playing not quite as well as his prime, but he's been doing surprisingly well. Kenneth Gainwell and Jalen Warren, both very good running backs. TJ Watt still here. Alex Highsmith, Herbig, all those guys. Jalen Ramsey's probably out, but let's look at the Texans. The Texans are a team that rely very heavily on defense. And I think that can work out for them, especially since like the Steelers' offense kind of stalls sometimes, especially against really good defenses. Like we saw that with the Browns, they were only able to score 6 points, and I feel like it's going to be a similar situation in this game. I think, you know, the Texans, Will Anderson, Derek Stingley, Kamari Lassiter, all those guys are going to kind of shut down the Steelers' defense, and that's why I'm going to take the Texans moving on against the Pittsburgh Steelers. All right, next up we have the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Buffalo Bills. I mean, shout out to the Jaguars. Like last year they were 4-13, looking terrible, and like they've really regrouped it this year. Like Trevor Lawrence has been having the best year of his career. Travis Etienne doing pretty well. Brian Thomas Jr. hasn't been getting that much targets, but he's been doing pretty good. And that defense with Josh Hines Allen, some other players, I don't know. All I can remember is Josh Hines Allen on that defense, but they've been doing pretty good. And of course, their new coach Liam Cohen has been really well for them. So, Jaguars looking like a pretty solid team. But they're playing the Buffalo Bills, who, I mean, they got the same guys as last year: Josh Allen, James Cook, Khalil Shakir. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. I got Tre'Davious White again. They got that guy. Matt Milano might still be there. I don't know. The Bills look weaker. They look a lot weaker than they were last year. I feel like last year was really their window to make it to the Super Bowl, and they couldn't defeat the Chiefs. And a lot of people surprisingly are thinking that they're going to win the Super Bowl. I don't see it. I don't think that Josh Allen's gonna carry this team. I'd be surprised if they even make it to the conference championship this year. And overall, I'm going to go with the Jacksonville Jaguars winning this. They just look like the overall better team. And finally, the last wild card game, the New England Patriots and the Los Angeles Chargers. The Patriots are back. The Patriots are back. New coach, new quarterback. Well, same quarterback as last year, but he didn't fully start last year. But Drake May, looking like the second coming of Tom Brady, just lighting up defenses left and right. Nobody really has an answer for him. Granted, they've been playing some pretty weak opponents, and a lot of people have been saying that they're schedule merchants. We'll really have to see in these playoffs. We'll really have to see if they're actually schedule merchants or not. But, I mean, they got Stephon Diggs, who actually I don't know is going to be playing because he's in some sort of controversy right now. They got Christian Gonzalez, great cornerback. They got, what was his name? Ramondre Stevenson and Travion Henderson, both very good running backs. They're just a pretty good, solid overall team. But they're playing the Los Angeles Chargers with Justin Herbert. I think Vidal is going to be their running back. And then, of course, Keenan Allen, who I'm not sure how well he's doing, but they got Ladd McConkey, who's a pretty great wide receiver, and Quentin Johnson, who's actually been doing surprisingly well. And, of course, Khalil Mack on that defense, Derwin James. They're a pretty solid team. But overall, I have the New England Patriots defeating them. I think that I don't know. I just have the Patriots defeating them. They're playing in Gillette Stadium. I just think that the Patriots are going to win this one. And we have the divisional round starting off with the Seahawks and the Rams. The Seahawks are looking amazing. I mean, Sam Darnold, he's been having some off games, but overall he's been looking like a pretty great quarterback for them. Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet are both awesome running backs. Jackson Smith and Jigba, Cooper Kupp, A.J. Barner, all these guys on offense, like, they have a great offense, and they also have a great defense with, Eman Wari, the rookie that's been doing pretty well. Who else? Devon Witherspoon, Leonard Williams, Ernest Jones, all these guys. They're a pretty stacked team, but they are playing the Rams, who they lost to once, and then they defeated once. And if this game goes any way that it went on a Thursday night, it's definitely going to be a treat to watch. But overall, I do have it going the way that it went Thursday night, which is the Seahawks are going to barely defeat the Rams here. They just have more offensive firepower at the end of the day, and I do see them winning this one. And we have the Eagles versus the Bears. I don't know. I don't really know about this one. The Bears did defeat the Eagles in Philadelphia. It was on a Black Friday. They did defeat the Eagles in Philadelphia. Do I see that happening again? I don't think so. I feel like Jalen Hurts and the Eagles are more playoff ready than Caleb Williams and the Bears. Granted, Bill Johnson did lead the as the offensive coordinator. He did lead the Lions to the conference championship in 2023. Do I foresee that again? Do I? No, I'm going to have to go with the Eagles here. I don't know. Something about this Eagles team, a lot of people are counting them out, but I feel like they have enough in them to make a pretty strong push in the playoffs. And we have the Jaguars taking on the Patriots, a rematch of the 2017 AFC Championship or the 2018 AFC Championship, where Blake Bortles played Tom Brady, and of course, the Jags were up, I think it was like 14-3 or something like that, some sort of lead, and then the Patriots ended up coming back and winning, which was pretty heartbreaking because I would have loved to see Blake Bortles versus Nick Foles in the Super Bowl. But how do I see this going? Honestly, I think it could go either way. I really do think that this game could go either way. Like, both offenses are kind of at the same level in my opinion. You know, these are both teams that underperformed last year. They got a new coach and they were sort of rejuvenated. These are teams that are basically in the same spot. But which do I think is going to come out on top? I don't know. Honestly, I think it comes down to... Oh, sorry. I think it honestly comes down to who's the better quarterback. And I think that's Drake May, so I will go with the Patriots. And next up we have the Texans versus the Broncos. Two teams who I also think are in a similar situation. They have okay offenses. They have decent offenses with really good defense. And Bo Nix has been playing. He's been playing all right. I don't think he's as good as his record makes him out to be. The Broncos are kind of a team that win very close games. They're very similar to the Chiefs of last year, where they won games by very close margins. And I don't know. I don't believe that Bo Nix really has what it takes to make the Broncos to have a big push with the Broncos, honestly. But that defense is still great. Like Patrick Surtain, Nick Bonito, Zach Allen, like all those players on their defense are great. But I think this game is going to come down to the offense that can score more, because it's going to be a lot of It's going to be a lot of stopping from their defenses. Like the Texans' defense versus the Broncos' defense. Like little to no scoring is going to happen in this game. But at the end of the day, I think the Texans' offense has the ability to score more than the Broncos. So I am going to take Houston over Denver. This might be a hot take, but I'm gonna take Houston over Denver here. Now we have the NFC Conference Championship between the Seattle Seahawks and the Philadelphia Eagles. I think the Seahawks are pulling this one off because they just have a stronger offense, a stronger defense. I feel like they're a much stronger team than the Philadelphia Eagles. Even though the Eagles made it last year, I don't know. I just feel like the Seahawks, they're really looking to prove themselves this year, and I think that offense is just going to overwhelm that defense, which has been playing good this year, but I feel like they're just going to get overwhelmed at the end of the day, and I'm going to go with Seattle making it to the Super Bowl. And now we have the conference championship between the Houston Texans and the New England Patriots. This would be the first time that the Texans made it to a conference championship, I'm pretty sure, which I'm surprised they haven't, because they've been making a lot of playoff appearances. Like, they made it last year, the year before, they made it in 2020, 2019, all those years, but they have never made it to the conference championship. But I am predicting them to, because they're playing the Steelers and Broncos, and I think they beat both of those teams. But they are playing the Patriots in Gillette Stadium. First time Patriots made it here since, of course, they played the Chiefs in Arrowhead and eventually won. But who do I take here? Do I take that Patriots offense or that Texans defense? I know I say this a lot, but this could really go either way. But at the end of the day, I just feel like Drake May, he really has something to prove this year, as a starter and as an MVP candidate. I think that at the end of the day, the Patriots offense are going to defeat this Texans defense, and I am going to take New England over Houston here. But you never know. The Texans may well be able to overcome the Patriots, but this is my prediction for Super Bowl 60. Seattle versus New England at Levi Stadium for the Lombardi. And I don't think I need to remind you guys what happened last time these two teams played in the playoffs. Seahawks had the ball at the 2-yard line or 1-yard line or whatever. Pete Carroll called a pass play. Russell Wilson threw it. It was intercepted by Malcolm Butler, and the Patriots ended up winning. But do I see that happening again? Do I see that? Do I see the Patriots defeating the Seahawks? I don't know. I really don't know. I think this is going to be a very high-scoring game. a very high scoring game. Like both offenses are just going to be going at it, trading touchdowns left and right. But at the end of the day, it comes down to the team who can stop the other team more, aka who has the stronger defense. Now the Patriots have a pretty solid defense. They've got Caden Ellis, Christian Gonzalez, and Christian Barmore is out now. I'm pretty sure, but they have a solid defense. But I think the Seattle defense is much better. I think the Seahawks defense is a lot more, a lot more ready to take on tough teams than the Patriots are. So, I think when all is said and done, I believe that the Seattle Seahawks will be Super Bowl champions, and they will win their second ring with Sam Darnold, Jackson Smith-Njigba, Kenneth Walker, and their coach Mike McDonald, and they're going to win their second Lombardi Trophy and avenge Super Bowl 49. So those are my playoff predictions. Again, these are probably going to turn out pretty wrong here because these playoffs are very unpredictable. But yeah, those were my predictions for this year's playoffs. Thank you so much for watching. Comment who you think is going to win the Super Bowl. And we'll see who's right, I guess. We'll see who's right. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys. Oh, remember to like and subscribe and all that. And I will see you guys in the next video, where Sam Darnold and Aaron Donald have a fight to see which is the correct pronunciation of their last name.